Rowan, and this is the second installment of our Transmystics group recordings. Today, we are going to talk about the contemplative practice of group spiritual direction. And although you may be on your own in doing this practice, it is something that if you wanted to invite other people to do with you, that would be great. Or there are going to be some questions and things that you can sit with on your own. And if you like what you hear about group spiritual direction, feel free to reach out if there is interest. We may be able to do an ongoing group spiritual direction at some point. And we're also going to talk about the Christian mystic Hildegard. So I usually start with giving us a space to introduce ourselves, but maybe you can take this time to check in with yourself. What drew you to come here today to press play on this video and check it out, and to share or name for yourself your name for the divine. So we're going to be talking about them today. So you can pause here and take a moment to reflect and resume the video whenever you are ready to move forward. All right, what is group spiritual direction? So this has some definitions and ideas for thinking about group spiritual direction. It is a way of listening and reflecting with a community of fellow seekers on our encounters with God or the divine and our spirituality in everyday life. It is a practice to increase our attentiveness to the presence and direction of the Spirit of God or the divine. Again, there's a lot of God language in these practices, so feel free to utilize whatever word for God or the divine or spirit fits for you. To bring noticings of God, of divine, and desires to put love at the center of decision making. To participate with prayerful listening and response. To willingly share our spiritual journey, and to open to what others offer. To gather together to support each other on our spiritual journeys in a quiet, often quiet, and judgment-free space. So a little bit more about the group process. So even though it is, you may have a spiritual director present in group spiritual direction, whether it's group or whether it's individual, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit is actually the facilitator. So as participants, or even as in the way, I guess, at least I was trained, there's different versions of spiritual direction. But really, our role is to be open to be led by the Spirit. So as participants, it's not our role to tell people what to do, how to feel, think, or how to be, or give moral guidance or coaching, teaching, or discipleship training. That's not our job. We can take that weight off of us. And sometimes it does happen because we're people and we care and we want to help people and support people. But in a way, this is a practice to settle, to have silent reflection, to allow ourselves to settle and really open to how we are being guided by the Spirit and how we are witnessing the Spirit or the divine working in other people's lives. So it's a space where you can share if you feel called or moved to share an aspect of your spiritual life or relationships. The group listens prayerfully without interruption. And the group listens again for God or the divine's response to what is being shared, what is being brought up, what we're experiencing within us, what we're noticing in others. The group shares comments or questions that have come up during periods of silence. And the group prays for the presenter. So Spiritual direction or group spiritual direction can be more than this, but these are some ways that we can engage in that process. And so, as you're going through this individually, or if you have connected with some others that you're going through this with, just keep these things in mind in terms of how you're engaging with yourself and others with this contemplative practice. So, this is a suggestion of what the prayer for other people in the group process can look like. So, these are some questions that may help guide your prayer time. God, what is your deepest desire for this person? God, what do you want my prayer to be? God, is there anything in me that is getting in the way of my joining your prayer for this person? And God, is there anything you want me to say or do on your behalf for this person? So, again, I want to invite you to substitute if there's another word that you use for God or the divine to. If you notice in this prayer, we are speaking directly, we are in conversation with the divine in this practice. And these are also questions that you can take to your relationship for yourself. Like, God, what is your deepest desire for me? What do you want my prayer to be for myself, my experience, and my situation, whatever you are taking to spiritual direction? And so I am going to take a pause here, or just invite a pause if you would like to jot down these questions that you can take to your reflections later when we are sitting with some of the work of Hildegard, and to reflect on if anything is moving for you or coming up for you um, in that practice. So you can pause the video here and resume whenever you're ready to move forward. All right, so a little bit of a short bio about Hildegard. Born in 1098 in Germany, and 1112 she entered the monastery. She became a magistra at age 38. In 1150, she founded a monastery and then another one about 15 years later. She received 3 visions that urged her to write. She wrote, painted, and composed operas communicating her visions. She also wrote of books on medicine and nature. She was interdicted by the archbishop at age 80. This was similar to excommunication, and that was lifted only 6 months before her death. And this was because there was a revolutionary that had been excommunicated that was buried on the monastery grounds, I believe, and she refused to remove the burial, even though she was asked to. She transcended gender roles through public preaching, challenging male leadership, and internal corruption in the church. She was one of the first people to receive official Roman canonization and has been referred to as a saint and doctor of the church, which are quite high distinctions. And she spoke of her divine vision. So, one of the things that was noted is one of the ways she was able to overcome those gender roles or gender restrictions on her gender was to speak directly from divine visions. So there was something about saying that I am getting this information directly from God versus I'm getting it from book learning and education. And this is something I've seen with other mystics as well when they have been challenged by the church or criticized, or they're facing potential punishment, is to bring up this piece that, hey, this is coming directly from God. This is coming directly from the divine. Are you going to question that? And it has been a way that others at times have uh, overcome some of the criticisms and attacks that they have faced. So now we will move into a reading of a poem by, or I don't know if she would refer to it as a poem, but a writing by Hildegard. And so I'd like to ask you now to think about, for you, what is the most effective way of you taking this in to really receive, to really be open to, again, the spirit moving or something being communicated to you through this reading. I'm going to read through it a couple of times. And so that may look like for you closing your eyes and just listening. It could be reading along with me. It could be writing along with me. Whatever feels most accessible for you today. I am the one whose praise echoes on high. I adorn all the earth. I am the breeze that nurtures all things green. I encourage blossoms to flourish with ripening fruits. I am led by the Spirit to feed the purest streams. I am the rain coming from the dew that causes the grasses to laugh with the joy of life. I call forth tears, the aroma of holy work. I am the yearning for good. I am the one whose praise echoes on high. I adorn all the earth. I am the breeze that nurtures all things green. I encourage blossoms to flourish with ripening fruits. I am led by the Spirit to feed the purest streams. I am the rain coming from the dew that causes the grasses to laugh with the joy of life. I call forth tears, the aroma of holy work. I am the yearning for good. So I'm going to invite you now to take a pause, to pause the video here and spend some time sitting with this reading, I Am by Hildegard. You can bring forward those questions that we talked about earlier with the group spiritual direction and sit with those and reflect on those. You can sit in a meditative silence. You can journal, create, move, whatever you feel called to do, to be with and be open to these words by Hildegard. So again, feel free to pause the video here and resume whenever you're ready to move forward. All right, so as I mentioned before, Hildegard composed music, and I am going to attempt with technology to play this video for us. Right? Again, so this is a place where you can pause the video again and take some time to sit with and reflect on your experience. Again, you can bring in those group spiritual direction prayer questions if you'd like. And feel free to pause and restart the video whenever you feel ready. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. This could also be a point where you pause again and take some time to reflect on your overall experience. Um, what came up for you? What was a challenge? What was a joy? What do you want to carry forward from this experience in terms of your spiritual practice and relationships, spiritual relationships that you might be building? I did want to note that these were some references that I utilized to create this. And stay tuned. I'll be posting more videos, and feel free to join us for the Transmystics group, or if you're interested in some individual support with individual spiritual direction, feel free to reach out. Again, thank you for joining me today.